Welcome to Real Estate 360, realestate360show.com. This is Steve Connolly.
And I am Jason Miles, hashtag the real estate trainer.
Hashtag unemployable.
Absolutely unemployable.
And proud of it.
That's right. That's right. So, Steve.
Yeah.
We had a great event.
We did.
Well, at this point, a couple weeks ago, right?
We did.
Or so, approximately. And I want to thank some of the listeners that came out. I mean, it's the listeners that really support us, obviously, in what we're doing, watching or listening to the podcast, listening to the show, watching us on YouTube. Those things are very, very greatly appreciated, and we want you guys to keep doing it. But we had a couple in particular that were listeners that came from around the state.
Yeah.
Augusta
area.
Yeah.
Actually, probably South Carolina, because, Augusta's real close to South Carolina. So
yeah.
We had a couple from there.
Absolutely. And again, and as we tell people, this show is called Real Estate 360. And we talk about all aspects of real estate and things that have to do with real estate and how we need to move forward in our businesses and our financial lives, right?
Can we get something out of the way?
Let's do it.
I was up kind of late last night, and I got something in my eye, and I gotta get this cleared up, so we can move on, because it's really hard to think and talk with this.
You guys got to go to YouTube to watch this. He's got.
So I have my glasses on, just to cover it up. So
is that considered glaucoma? We just had a question.
I hope not. I don't think so. I think it's temporary. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it temporary, because I got to get this thing off. Anyway,
we had someone send us a meme. It was absolutely hilarious. It was Steve and I. Well, it wasn't Steve and I. What was the comedian on Saturday Night Live whose wife killed him? He was absolutely hilarious. It was that comedian and Sinbad. I guess I was Sinbad.
I guess you were.
Yeah. And it was us. It was the two of us standing in front of the logo, the real estate. Phil Hartman. Oh, it was Phil Hartman and Sinbad. It was absolutely hilarious. I don't know. Maybe we can share that. I think we should share that. We should share that somewhere, because I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it. So I'm going to share it with you on our social media.
So what
pages.
You're saying is my wife killed me.
It's absolutely hilarious.
I'm dead. Oh no.
Let's hope not. Beth, it's just a joke.
Oh yeah, all right. So we had a great turnout,
Absolutely.
And really, so who cares how many people were there or weren't there? That doesn't really matter. The responses that we got were fantastic.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, we have people that come to these events that are experienced, very experienced in a lot of cases, and people that have absolutely no experience whatsoever, and everything in between. Because this show is called Real Estate 360, and we talk about everything, because we do pretty much everything real estate related, there are opportunities that are just kind of hovering around. People are bringing us opportunities. We're searching for opportunities constantly, because we can see what those opportunities are and how we can kind of navigate our way into those kinds of things. So being at the event, delivering the event, seeing people come that are just listening to the show. And I mean, one guy came and he's got, a couple came, they've got 10, 12 properties, something like that.
Right, yeah.
And then another lady came, and she'd been taken advantage of by a company and wound up with nothing.
Right.
And was just trying to figure out what she did wrong and how she needs to move forward. And we got people that are just wholesaling.
And another lady showed up and said, I've been to some of these seminars, and she said, there's something missing. It's like there's some formula. Can you just tell me? This was before we even started the seminar.
Yeah.
And she said, so we were just talking, just hanging out. And she said, can you give me the formula? I said, well, actually, she didn't ask me that. She said, there's something missing. I said, well, would you like the formula?
Yeah.
She said, yeah, you'll give me the formula? I said, yeah, we do it on the show,
Yeah.
Not a secret. The seminar people that want to sell you the next seminar, they want to make it a secret. so they'll have something to sell you.
Absolutely.
That's
I mean,
right.
how many secrets can there be in the same industry over, countless personalities that have been selling the secret to wholesaling, the secret to fix and flip,
That's
the
right.
secret to buy and hold, the secret to making, 6-7 figures a year. There's no secret. Just do the work. Learn the processes and do the work. It's as simple as that. That's the secret.
And she said she really, liked the way we approach things, which was pretty wide open,
Yeah.
It's like, here it is, all of it. And she said, that's pretty rare. And she said, looks like you guys really know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, I think we do after this amount of time.
Yeah.
And because what you just said, we do all of it. We're way deep into this stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we're at a little higher altitude, metaphorically speaking, and we can see the landscape a little better because, one of those gentlemen that was at the seminar brought a situation that he was having a hard time with.
Mm-hmm.
We said, well, here's a solution just because we know what's available. That's all.
That's right. And you know what? A lot of times you'll find investors or the quote unquote gurus, the gurus that, they elevate, and that's happened. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's very difficult to learn from someone who's so far outside of the realm of reality because they don't do it anymore. They started there.
Yeah.
Right? They started in one place and then they elevated and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you started off as an apple picker and then you wind up, distributing apples across the world,
Sure.
just skipping past everything, at some point you're going to forget certain aspects of the apple picking process.
I'm going to do my best to forget all of the aspects of how to pick apples.
Because there's going to be different things that come along, right?
That's
Different
right.
processes, equipment that gets implemented, all these different things. At some point, you're only concerned with the supply chain.
Yeah.
And of course the quality of the product, but the supply chain, not everything that is involved in what goes on in the very beginning.
Could be focused on distribution, not picking apples.
Exactly. So you kind of lose touch with the picking apple process.
Yeah.
So you need to keep people around you that are familiar with the apple picking process so that you can move forward in your business if that's what you're going to do. Having said that, I don't want to learn how to pick apples from the guy who owns the ships that distributes the apples around the world. I just don't want to learn how to pick apples from them.
Okay. I don't either.
I got to learn how to pick apples from the apple pickers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Getting thirsty.
We're the apple pickers.
This is not applesauce. Not apple juice.
Anyway, so we had a 2-hour seminar. It was fantastic, and it's a small group. We're not trying to promote it. We think other than the radio show, we started promoting it like 3 or 4 days beforehand through our, contact base.
Yeah.
So because the room we have only holds 20 people,
Right.
and we've got to put our AV guys in there and everything. So it's a real nice, intimate, get your questions answered kind of a presentation.
That's exactly right.
And we have one coming up.
And when would that be?
That is December 7th. That's,
December 7th.
I think that's Pearl Harbor Day too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So 10 o'clock, 10 to 12, Panera Bread, 1195 Woodstock Road in Roswell.
Yeah, you're giving up a lot of information there, sir.
Write that down.
It's not a secret anymore?
No.
No. Okay. So, Steve, I got to ask, what are we going to talk about today?
Other than what we just did, we are going to talk about the state of wholesaling, the wholesaling real estate business as it exists now.
Yes.
And where we see it going in the next 12 months.
That's right.
And you pointed out that it's going to be about a year before we have an election.
Yes.
We're
about a year. If you're listening to the show today, we're about a year away from that election.
Mm-hmm.
The actual election day, approximately, give or take.
Now, somebody asked us, one of our producers said, hey, if you had to bet your house, who would you predict is going to be the winner? Should we get into that or not?
Hey, listen, I got to tell you, forget who you support, guys. We're watching a lot of different stuff going on. I can say this. moving forward, if I had to bet, watching the way this whole political circus has been
Talk about a circus.
Yeah, it's a circus.
3-ring, man.
You know, it doesn't matter what President Donald Trump says anymore. It doesn't matter what comes out of his mouth. Whatever comes out just makes him stronger in the polls. And if that continues, he will be.
Well, it's the law of attraction.
Yeah, he believes
if you're opposed to Donald Trump and you keep talking about Donald Trump, you're just going to get more Donald Trump. If you're for Donald Trump and you talk about Donald Trump, you're going to get more Donald Trump.
Yeah.
If you talk about something else, another candidate, you're likely to get the other candidate. But some people don't understand that.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of different things that are kind of in play with all of that as well. You know, economic
we're not
cycles,
a political
things like
show.
that. So
we're really not.
We want to make money, and we want to be in a climate that allows us to continue to make money.
So the next 12 months is going to be a little volatile.
There will be a lot of volatility, but we're up against a little bit of a break. Let's talk about that shortly.
Okay.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español. Llámanos. Call us today.
All right, we are back. And Steve, this is the state of the wholesale economy.
What do you mean this is?
Well, sir, let me tell you.
Tell me.
We have an economy that is doing very well. We have fewer people that are buying certain things. More people are buying other things. Money available for whatever it is you want to buy. But how long is that going to last?
Forever.
Is it going to last forever?
As long as Donald Trump's in office, probably.
You're probably right.
You know,
free money.
He may want to try to run for, an 8-year term.
Donald Trump, 2024. I can see it now. But this is where we are, brother.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a situation right now where, right now in the wholesale world, just talking about wholesalers, we're watching prices of homes go up, right? But really, they've kind of stabilized in our market anyway, right? And they've come down about 10, maybe 15%, but they're sitting right there right now.
Yes,
not
they
really moving.
are.
You know, they're stable. But we have fewer buyers in the market.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of that is the time of the year. Part of that is we're going into the election cycle. You know, generally, we're not going to really see an uptick in buying until the end of January, sometime in February,
right,
from this point moving forward. But for us, you know, that's a great time to buy because so many people are selling that need to sell, that have problems, whatever those problems are, and they're looking at the Zestimate. You know, my house is worth $200,000. Well, it needs $60,000 worth of repair, sir. Okay, I'll take $140,000.
I'm sorry, Zillow. I didn't mean to laugh when you said Zestimate. But I couldn't help myself.
But you know, that's where we are. You know, and if we're sitting there and we're doing this, and we're wholesaling at this time of the year,
yes,
we're wanting bargains.
We have to have
very
bargains.
Steep bargains.
And you were talking about the state of the wholesale real estate industry. And so, yes, we've seen the retail prices level and actually decline. It's a supply and demand issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not an interest rate issue because we've got the lowest interest rates we've ever seen.
Yeah. And as we were talking about on the break, our economy-wise, we're at nearly record highs in terms of where values of things are, job growth.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I can't really say much about job stability because everything's a little different, right?
Exactly.
You know, most people don't really have jobs. They don't really keep jobs more than 5 years before they move on anymore, unless they're moving up the ranks.
Gotta love it. Or, you know, some of us just can't get a job.
It simply means there's opportunities out there.
Well, some of us are unemployable. That's what I'm trying to say.
You create jobs. You're a job creator.
Right. I can do that.
That's right.
And then, so the prices are leveling, coming down a little bit. And in the meantime, the wholesale prices, the as-is prices from people like you, me, and those other wholesalers that are in the marketplace, those have been pretty consistently going up.
Yeah.
Especially over the last 2.5, 3 years, at least in our region. Now, other areas are experiencing different things.
Yeah.
Maybe down around Panama City and those areas, the prices are continuing to move up and the demand is still high. Although with all the storms they've had recently.
Which is what's creating the opportunity. Another great place right now is St. Louis, believe it or not. Right now, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes.
Is the number one fix and flip market in the country. Number one.
That used to be Indianapolis, didn't it?
It shifts every now and then.
Yeah.
And you have to look at what drives those. What are the factors? Because you have a lot of people that'll run from one area to another to take advantage, which is that's understandable. But why? Why are you going there? I mean, is it sustainable? Can you get there today and do business for a year or 2 years or 3 years? And who are you selling to? I mean, I am obviously, this about me, that I am a big believer in understanding what the exit strategies are.
Yes.
How are we going to get out of this? If we're going to fix and flip it, who are the buyers? How many of them are in the market? Is that market going to continue to expand? Or where is the contraction? When do we expect to see the contraction? It's not a matter of overthinking it. It's understanding how long we have to do it more than anything.
It's a cycle.
It is. You want to understand the cycles. So there, it's industry, technology in particular. You have a lot of technology companies that are starting or moving to St. Louis because of the cost of living. If you just think about it for a second now, if you've got a company in Palo Alto, anywhere in San Francisco or, that area where all those big tech companies are, and you want to increase your revenues, but you've kind of been stable right where you're at, you've been earning the same amount. Well, the easiest thing to do, instead of having to pay your execs $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 a year so that they can afford to live in the area, well, let's pay them $300,000 or $400,000 a year, move to a market where they can have an equal lifestyle, an equivalent lifestyle, but for half the price. Now, just think about the money that a company would be saving by cutting their payroll in half.
Huge.
It's massive. So now their revenues increase. Yeah. And if they're publicly traded or desire to be, that is a significant way to increase your value and to carve out a market share. The point is, those are the industries that we're looking at. We know that technology is going to drive this economy.
Right.
We know it. We know that manufacturing is going to shrink. We don't like it, but we know that, there will still be manufacturing.
Nations that can do it better and cheaper.
Well, yeah, but there's also automation.
Yeah.
Look at what Amazon is doing. Yeah. Amazon is replacing its workers with automation, robots.
Yeah.
But they're also giving those workers an opportunity to have their own businesses and saying, hey, listen, if you do A, B, and C, we'll give you $10,000 so you can start your own delivery service for us. So they're giving them an opportunity until autonomous cars take over anyway.
Right.
Until automation takes over in yet another fashion. But the thing I'm saying is it's important to understand, even if you're looking at St. Louis, even if you're looking at Panama, why is it good right now?
Of course.
And how long are we going to be able to take advantage of this? And then you create your exit strategy, your plan of action, and then your exit strategy. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. We're looking at crazy stuff going on in the world. We're looking at financial companies like First Premier is selling. They're out of I think it's Sioux Falls, Iowa or something like that, and they're selling their property, their flagship property that they built this billion-dollar business, multi-billion-dollar business off of. They're selling their flagship property for $3.7 million.
What? Is that
Sioux
all?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Thank you, sir. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, $3.7 million. Now, why are they getting out of there?
It's too cold. Come on.
It's the flatland. But I digress because these are all indicators that I look at, and I can kind of really get a little far out there sometimes with some of this stuff when we're looking at other areas to go into, marketing, all those things. But as you grow your business and you expand your business and you want to continue to do things, if you're not looking at other areas, you're subject to whatever's going on in the one place you are when you grow.
Well, but that's okay, because as long as you're at least aware of what's going on where you are, there's always opportunity,
Absolutely.
no matter whether the market's going up or down. It doesn't matter.
It's a great point.
And, our realtor, one of our realtors was in here a few weeks ago, and he said some of his sellers are just saying, please, just sell the property. I'm less concerned about how much I'm getting now than just getting it gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're in a market like this, guess what? There's a lot of other people who have way bigger problems that say, hey, man, I got to get rid of this property. And that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for people who want to get rid of properties as coming from the wholesale point of view.
That's right, because we are problem solvers.
Yes.
We're just solving people's problems. That's what every business is. We want to help people solve their problems. So getting back to the point of this, the state of the wholesale.
Right.
The State of the Union, the wholesale address.
And that's going to vary
but
depending on geography and what's going on in your particular area in terms of economics as well.
Yeah, but no matter where you are right now,
mm-hmm.
no matter where you are right now, and at very least over the course of the next 3 months, you have to be very aggressive as a wholesaler in terms of how you're buying. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean pay too much. I mean pay less. Maybe you're used to doing putting 2 or 3 properties a week under contract or a month, whatever the case is, under normal circumstances. Well, right now, you know what? You might do 1 or 2 the right way.
Sure.
Because you have to know that prices may come down a little more over the course of the next 3 months. You have to know that it might take you a little longer to sell that property because of the decreasing values.
And when we come back from after the break, which is in about a minute or so from now, but let's talk about the formula for wholesaling. Because, I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about the seminar, that these folks walked in, they said, what's the formula? There's something missing.
Right.
So let's get back a little bit to the basics of what wholesaling is, because this is a real estate investing show, and we want to keep it on that topic. Yes.
Yeah.
We need to know what's going on everywhere, because we're curious folks.
Well, they tell you, it tells you everything. But the formula, even the formula, it's really not going to change for the most part. And but it is different from one area of the country to the other, no matter what.
Absolutely, it's different.
The economy looks like locally or nationally. But the actual equation is the same. The numbers may vary, right? So, like, it might not be 70%. It might be 80%. It might be 65%. It might not be a $5,000 or a $3,000 profit center. In some areas, it's going to be a $20,000 or a $15,000 profit center.
It might not be a $5,000 kitchen. It might be a $25,000 kitchen.
Exactly. And all those things need to be kept in mind. But let's get to the break.
Yes.
Hi, this is Sammy with Sammy Hadid Real Estate Keller Williams. Are you looking for a top producing agent who will look out for your best interests, top dollar on the sale of your home, a well-negotiated contract, an efficient closing? Please call me at 305-978-4249. I'm more than happy to set up a consultation. I'll put together a proposal for you to net top dollar for your home, what it is that I'm doing to get all my homes sold. Then you can decide what's best for you. Again, I'll do whatever it takes to get your home sold for top dollar, and I promise you that I will protect your equity with my life. 305-978-4249. Sammy Hadid, Hadid.
And welcome back to Real Estate 360, and we're talking about the state of the wholesale real estate business in the United States of America.
Amen.
So, we were talking a little bit just before the break about, so much stuff, But one of the things that I wanted us to go over is the formula for how to do your wholesale business. And then you, Mr. Jason O'Miles, you want to talk about the variations on the equation from around the country. Right.
But let's talk about here first, because here in the Atlanta metropolitan area, right? Here, right now, currently, we're working at a 70% ARV, or after repair value.
Yeah, why is that?
Because that's what the lenders will give today, 70% of the after repair value. Now, there are different programs out there.
Right.
So that's a That's a generalization, but it's a broad generalization. I mean, it's a specific generalization because the vast majority of the local lenders, and even the lenders that are coming from outside of the state that are lending here in this state, or at least in the metropolitan area, are lending at 70% of the after repair value.
So that means, just to make it perfectly crystal clear, so whatever the house will sell for on the open market after repaired, that's why they call it after repaired value.
That's right.
Is you take 70% of that and you come up with a number. Say it's a $200,000 house. You multiply that by 70%, so you get $140,000.
That's right.
That's what they'll lend.
That's right, and that's all in at $140,000. And then there's some lenders that'll say, we'll give you 90% of that 140. We're going to give you 90% of the 70% we told you we'd actually lend on.
Right. Okay, right.
Right? So there's a lot of that goes on also. But just to keep the numbers simple,
Yeah.
it's 140 all in. And what that means is that's the acquisition of the property, that's the cost to renovate the property, and any profit that a wholesaler would have. That $140,000 or 70% of that $200,000 value, all of that $140,000 has to encompass acquisition of the property, renovation of the property, and profit to the wholesaler. It has to be all in that 140.
Right.
Everything else will have to come out of the prospective buyer's pocket if it was over that, and it depends on how much it was over that also.
So us as wholesalers, we do our best to find properties that will fit within that formula.
Correct.
So when we're selling it to our customers, we want to jump over there across the desk, jump in their shoes and say, and look at it from that point of view, which is, okay, if I buy this, I can borrow 70% and I can be all in, and there's enough money on the loan to cover everything.
Absolutely.
Except for maybe some down payment requirements for closing costs or whatever
For sure.
the lender has.
Yeah. Now for us, if we're out there doing our own marketing, if we're fixing flippers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That money that we're looking at as the wholesale fee would then be our cost to acquire fee. It wouldn't be, if we're looking for houses just for us to renovate, if we're only marketing for our own fix and flip opportunities,
Yes.
not to wholesale, not to do any of that, we are going to still use the 70% rule.
Right.
The only difference is the wholesale fee will now be an acquisition fee, meaning if we need 10% down, plus legal fees, plus points, we're going to try to put as much of that into that number as we possibly can. So,
Of course.
if the numbers were the same and we had a lender that says, we're going to give you 90% of that 140, we already know we have to come up with $14,000 down. We also know we have to pay legal. We have to pay whatever points the lender might want, right? We have to pay insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at that and we're saying, okay, we have $14,000 there. Maybe the lender wants 3 points. It's 3 points of the 126 now, not the 140 because of the 10%, right? So 3 points on 126 is roughly $3,700. It's going to cost another, let's just call it $2,000 for the attorney fees, and then let's just call it another $1,300 for insurance, right? So now we're at $6,000 plus the $14,000 is $20,000.
Yeah.
I know I was going to go on fast there. I'm kind of like Rain Man with it, but
They
that's
need to
$20,000.
They need to invent TiVo for radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the podcast. It's YouTube. On the podcast, Real Estate 360 Show.
Yep.
There's a little button there when you're listening to it that goes back 15 seconds, as many times as you want.
I guess I've revealed that I don't really do podcasts too much. I'm big into YouTube.
That's right. It's there too, right?
It's there. It's absolutely there.
Real Estate 360 Show.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I've heard of that. It's a pretty good show. But anyway, so going back to what you're talking about.
Yes.
It's all great as long as there's 100% full disclosure. And
That's right.
we were talking earlier about these are all commercial loans.
Correct.
This is not a residential single family house loan.
Correct.
You
can't live there.
Right.
You can't own it for your personal use. Has to be something that is for business purposes only. And you do. I mean, you have to have full disclosure. You disclose it to your lender, All these things are going to be disclosed on the contract. Everything is there. So it's not
and the attorneys represent the lenders.
Absolutely. So it has to get past them anyway.
That's right.
Right? Everybody has to be in agreement here. And it's all just having conversations. Hey, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Lender, this is the property. This is the price we got it for. Here's our renovation. We have this acquisition fee. We're going to utilize those funds to cover these expenses. And maybe they say yes.
So you're talking about a no money down deal.
I'm absolutely talking about no money down deals. Because they don't always happen.
No.
But every now and then you get a great deal that it can. And even if maybe only 5,000 of that was able to be used towards that,
It's all based on the value and the numbers, real value, and what it should, and will sell for.
Absolutely.
As long as there's not, some catastrophic financial situation.
Well, it's not like that's ever happened
No,
before.
I mean, really, no, not in our lifetime anyway.
But, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the future holds. Yeah. You always just have to expect the best.
Now, going back, though, the formula, the 70% is all in after repaired value. So an investor wants to buy that house at 70%.
Correct.
And so they have to make sure all of their expenses or their renovation costs are included in that 70%.
Correct.
They might want to have a little bit more in there as buffer. But now, as wholesalers, what we're doing is we're selling that at 70%, and we're buying it for less.
We have to get it for less. So how does that look with the equation, right?
Yeah.
So it's the after repair value times 70% minus renovation cost minus what you expect to make, what you want to make. So what's going to take that same $200,000 value?
Wait a minute. Who's making the money?
The wholesaler.
Okay, got it.
The wholesaler.
All right.
Right? So let's take that same $200,000 value for a second. We have that $200,000. We divide that, multiply that by 70%.
Yeah.
It gives us $140,000. If upon the review of the property, we're looking at the property and we determine that this property needs $40,000 in renovation to get it up to the $200,000 sale price.
I was hoping you were going to say 40.
We got to keep the numbers right. We're
That's
there.
right.
Simpatico.
That's right.
Right? So now, from $140,000, we subtract the cost to renovate of $40,000. That takes us to $100,000. But wait.
Okay.
We can't ask that person to sell that house to us for $140,000 or $100,000 because as the wholesaler, we're not making any money.
That's right.
So now it's how much money do we want to make? Is it $3,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? And then you plug that number in, right? So for the sake of this conversation, let's just say that number's $10,000.
Okay.
You subtract $10,000 from the remaining $100,000. That's your profit, potential profit anyway. And now your maximum allowable offer, your MAO,
right,
is now $90,000. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to start your negotiations at the 90.
Well, wait a minute. How much is the guy even asking for the house? I mean, because that's the first place I would start.
That's right. I say, who cares?
Well, you do care because if he's asking 100, then you're going to go in at whatever 80 or 70 or whatever.
Right.
But if he's asking 50 for
Good
the
point.
house,
You're not going to offer 80.
No. Why would you? So you got to find out what the guy's asking for the house first.
Yeah. Good point. Good catch, by the way. Yeah.
I've been doing this for a few minutes.
So if they're asking lower than what your maximum allowable offer is or your starting negotiation point, then, you just go from there. But there's a trick that I do when I'm dealing with homeowners in particular.
Yeah.
It's not really a trick, but it just lets them know that we're actually doing the work. So when they call in and I'm speaking with them and we're making the appointment, we're getting all the particulars for the property. We're setting up for the appointment to go look at it either today or tomorrow or the next day, depending on the availability of the person. While I'm waiting for that to occur, we're doing all our due diligence to see what the value is going to be and all that. Then when we go and walk that property with the property owner, I already know where we need to be in terms of the after repair value. All I have to now do is determine what it's going to cost to renovate. Once I've done that, let's say that number was, $48,000, right, to renovate. Or let's say that the offer is going to be $80,000.
Right.
And we know that they just say, hey, let's make me an offer. But I'm going to come in a little bit less. I'm going to maybe start at 72, but I'll use weird numbers like $68,472.12.
Yeah. All right.
And I'll write it down on the paper, you know. And they're like, because the perception is you're looking at something that they can't see that's spewing out all these different percentages, and you've really done your research. They're looking at that because who's going to come up with that weird number? You know, normally it's just $68,000, not $68,452.12. So if the perception is you've really done your research and you're giving them a real number, in which you are, but you've really done your research.
$68,472.25.
You sure can. And then when they're on the fence, I'll say, you know what? I'll make it an even 68.5. I think my boss will be okay with that. Yeah. You know. And
you know what?
People feel like they win.
Let's take a break.
Let's do it. Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company will buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
We're back, all right? We're back. Hey, listen, Steve, the breaks over here are absolutely hilarious.
They are.
we
have as much fun on the break as we do on the show.
Absolutely. So, we need to record those and put those outtakes out there like Trevor Noah.
So this segment, we're going to recap the formula just so, because there was a lot of numbers flying around here just a few minutes ago. So we're going to recap that number, and then we're going to talk about the future, the next probably 12 months or so.
Yeah,
we're
let's just go for the 12 months.
12 months. We're going to put our prognosticator hats on. And
there's another one of those words.
Yeah, man.
How come every day we do this show, the thesaurus has to be available to our listeners?
I don't know. I can't help it.
Hey, it's the curse of being a well-read man.
Well, you know, I watch a lot of the YouTube. if you're going to call that well-read, okay, let's go for that.
It's a whole new world out there. Yeah. Reading isn't reading unless it's associated with a digital product.
I do read quite a bit. You know,
that's what's up.
Actual, paper.
The smell of it, the feel of it.
You got to, there's a whole different thing.
It's
when
nostalgia.
You have that in your hand, especially when you're writing. You've got to write some. But
I'm with you on
this is not a writing show. This is a real estate investing show. So I want to recap the formulas, and then I want to hear what you have to say about the future of the wholesale and the real estate business for the next 12 months. So just a really quick recap. We want to take the after repaired value of a single family house, or kind of pretty much anything, multiply that by 70% minus your renovation costs, gives you an all-in, quote-unquote, all-in number.
Yes.
And that's got to include your
renovation costs, potential
profit. The 30% is where that is.
Yeah.
Is that right?
The 30%?
Yeah, the 70%.
No, the profit's not in the 30%. It is if you're the actual renovator.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, right.
For wholesalers.
We're talking wholesalers. Thanks for bringing me back into that. So wholesaling is you're making nothing until you subtract your fee from the number that is the result of 70% minus your renovation costs.
Yep.
Now you've got your wholesale fee.
Yeah, now you got to take, so it's the 70% minus the renovation, whatever number's left, subtract the renovation cost from that, and then subtract your profit from the number that's remaining.
Your potential profit, potential wholesale fee.
Exactly. And that is your maximum allowable offer.
And you talk about, and we've talked about this a couple times, you said you want to do how much you want to make.
Yes.
And I'm always talking about how much is it possible to make on a transaction.
Yes.
Because you may want to make $10,000 on every single one. But
you're not going to make $10,000 on everyone. But it's not a bad place to start. You have a lot of room to negotiate.
It's exactly that. It's a place to start. It's a good number to work with. And then, you can kind of go back and forth from that. But if somebody's offering to sell you their house for way less than those numbers, like the example we just gave.
Yeah.
You might make more than 10 or
Absolutely.
$20 or $30,000.
And I think it's important to note that there are people that are on the other side of the equation here, and they're saying, well, if I can just make $2,000 a deal.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't sell yourself short, because, listen, you can sell other people's properties and make $1,500, $2,000 without having to go through the whole marketing process, offer and negotiation process, selling process. Don't sell yourself short. I mean,
can I qualify that a little
shoot
bit?
for the stars, man.
Listen, there are a lot of wholesalers out there in the marketplace.
Yeah.
There are probably fewer now than there were a few months
6 months
ago. But there are a lot of them out there that just are lazy. I mean, really super, super lazy. I mean, the only thing they do is take stuff that maybe you and I have picked up on contracts, or other people have picked up on contracts, and then just turn around and remarket and add a fee to it. They don't even know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
They've never seen the house. They don't know if it's a good price or not. They haven't done any research.
That's right. Or the guy that does the marketing for the houses and just throws a renovation number out there, right? Because we know a couple of those.
Sure.
They spend a lot of energy going out there and finding these deals, and they mark them up. I mean, one guy in particular, he'll mark them up $20,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
And he'll say that the house needs $20,000 or $30,000 in renovation. And then you go look at the house and you're like, there's absolutely no way that this work is going to get done. The work that's needed on this house is substantially greater than the $30,000 this gentleman has just listed.
And look, we know there are different contractors and bidders and quality of work and licensing and all the insurances and so forth. We know that there's a big range that there is there, but still there's a kind of a minimum.
Yeah.
And, you can be like that guy I know who you're talking about and try to get everything done as absolutely as cheap as possible. But, you're going to have a product that this looks like is done as cheaply as possible.
The valuation will not be there.
The result, your ARV will not be there. And
That's
you'll
right.
never sell that house for that kind of money.
Not at all. You might sell it as a rental property.
It's called, shooting yourself in the foot.
Absolutely. So
it's hard to walk around when you do that.
That's right. It's imperative that you understand what you're doing, whether you're remarketing other people's properties as you're just starting out, because, of course, there are people that do that. I appreciate when they give us a call, though.
Yeah.
When they say, hey, listen, I've seen your property. Do you mind if I market it? And if I do, can I make money with you guys? Because I know you're marketing it. And I don't want if we're marketing it at 80,000 and this guy wants to market it at 90, because we're very aggressive marketers.
Yeah.
The odds aren't in his favor to get someone that's going to buy it at 90. It's possible because we've seen it.
Right.
But it's a lot easier if they make a deal with us, market to their people at the price that we have it, and then we do a profit sharing opportunity with them.
We like that better because it keeps the price consistent across the board in the marketplace.
That's right.
And we price ours that way. So really wholesalers that know what they're doing actually have to do it that way.
That's right.
Because the numbers won't work if
Any
they
other
put it
way.
out the other way.
Right.
And I've had wholesalers come to me and say, Steve, I don't really know anything about this. I just add on and remarket it.
Yeah.
I said, I know you don't know anything. I can tell. But we want to talk. We want to take this last 5 minutes or so and talk about the future of real estate in the next 12 months during this pre-election cycle. As the economy, people are like, this is it's an emotional economy.
Yeah.
This is a fear-based business. People are
politics or money.
Both.
Or both.
But I was really talking about real estate. It's a fear-based business because people are afraid.
Yes.
The stock market. Oh my God. Talking about emotion. You get one little announcement about some trade deal in China, and then the market goes tanks.
Yeah.
Or it goes way back up, or something. It's all about fear.
Yeah.
And so people are afraid.
Well,
of uncertainty.
And the fear is really, it's an unfounded thing under normal circumstances, because who is it that makes the markets move that much, that fast?
Right now it's probably the president or the feds.
No, it's the institutional investors.
Okay.
Right? So what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, in the stock market.
Yeah,
sure.
They're the ones that make those moves in the market. You and I, as individual investors, even collectively, we're not going to make that kind of movement in the market. Even if we were all moving on one accord, yeah, possibly, but that's generally not what happens. So when there's something done politically that the institutions that the money doesn't like, the money makes the institution. The politicians understand that they don't like it by pulling money out of the market.
So if we're all
too volatile.
So if all of us individual investors are in one Honda, and we're all moving, and we're not going to make that big of a challenge, right?
Only if we were all invested in the same thing.
You know, I'm talking about, all in one accord.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't fit. We can't fit in that. But
and he said it with such a straight face.
But so
is this a zinger?
We know the markets are going to go up. They're going to go down. And so bottom line is, get a hold of yourself over there, young fella.
I can't help it.
We're going to see a slower economy in the next 12 months.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump's probably going to get reelected the way things are looking right now.
Right.
I'm not making a prediction.
Right.
Because it's well known. Nobody can actually predict the future.
That is well known.
But I will say, you and I both agree that the state of business is way better right now than it was when the Democrats were in office. The Dems were in office.
Right. The money's flowing.
See and feel the difference.
The money is absolutely flowing. I mean, this is when you make your money. But let me say this: as we move into, we're in this fourth quarter, which is always going to be slow. We're moving into the first quarter of next year, most of which would be slow because it's an election year. It's expected to be a lot slower than it would have been the first quarter. That is in prior years,
right?
Past 2-3 years. So you have to learn how to make other kinds of offers. Well, when you're making your offers and you're looking at deals as a wholesaler, we don't have time to go over it today, but maybe we can talk about it next week or somewhere else. But if you're looking at doing only the 70% after repair value or ARV deals, you're leaving a lot of potential money on the table from other kinds of opportunities.
Absolutely.
So you have to know and make sure that you're spending your time learning these other methods. Learn how to see how you can help people that can't sell their house because they owe too much. Learn how to work with people in partnership situations because there's not a lot of meat on the bone. If you do that, you'll find more money that other people are leaving on the table that you'll just be able to scoop up literally and put in your pockets. And we talk a lot about this stuff at our events.
And, actually you should come to that event on December 7th and from 10 to 12 and sit down with us. And we love talking to people.
That's right. And in the meantime, make sure you go to iTunes, listen to the podcast, Real Estate 360. Go to Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. Make sure you check it all out because we want you to engage and be around what we're talking about.
And it is the realestate360show.com, from the show to the pro.
That's right, you guys. We'll see you next week as the marathon continues.
Peace.